Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. I always sound like Jerry Seinfeld belly button voice when I'm hello. I guess there's worse things I could sound like. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I just thought I'd do a quick chart review and talk about some trades. So, okay. Now, all right. Okay. Let's start by looking at ES weekly. So what happened here? What happened here to dampen our bullishness? I think my last ES tweet was something like keep your arms and necessary appendages inside the vehicle, because I could see that there was some chop coming up. Unless it got above that Eric value, and we'll talk about that on the daily. But it looks like it started off right at my weekly pivot, and just, I mean, it's still doing really a whole lot of nothing. It is starting to look a little bit like what I would call a reversal flag, which is, but who knows? Who knows? It's hard to say because it could go either way. But what a reversal flag is to me, or what I call a reversal flag is, typically bull flags, they sort of, they have the pole, and then they go down in a downward shape, and then they go whoop, or they fail and go whoop. But a reversal flag is the opposite. So it has the pole, but then it has the flag part that's sort of going upwards, and they can, just like bull flags or bear flags, they can fail as well. But it's starting to look a little bit like it better do something soon to the upside, or start to look more like an actual bull flag. But right now I don't know. The weekly is not giving me any clues, y'all. It's just not doing much. So let's look at the daily. I had hoped originally that it would get above this 29.59 level because I don't know, but I believe that will cause a McSqueezy. And for those people who don't know, a McSqueezy, in my own definition, and probably because I have so many lines everywhere, but a McSqueezy is a value in which I can sort of tell, I don't know, that if it gets above that level, price will go quickly up. And generally that's a scalp level for me. So I will I will add there or scalp there or whatever, and take profit, at least partial profit, pretty quickly, and then watch the rest go up. So yeah, it didn't do that, and there is some divergence here that was formed on, like, I guess Wednesday or something. So I mean, it's just a 2-point divergence right now. So it could, we'll see what happens, but it's something to keep in mind. It makes me a little bit less bullish than I would have been had I not seen that. It's sort of like, if you're not in a trade right now, it's sort of like wait until I don't know, like my own strategy will be to sort of wait until 29.59 and then go in, when it's starting to flirt around there, we'll see if it can go up. If it does get over the trampoline, if it gets above 29.02, then I'll start to watch it pretty closely to see whether or not it'll do this, and maybe get in a little early and then see what we can do. Otherwise, guys, I almost flipped bearish this week. It was close. It was close. I would have tweeted it had I done it. But so on Thursday, when we sort of got below the previous, got below Wednesday, and then when we got below this day here, I was like, ooh, I was really super close to to flipping bearish, but I didn't. And I thought, okay, basically right about here, somebody asked me, when's it gonna end? And I said, you know, if it goes below low of day, that'll be no good, because what I'm starting to see here is, and I'll still say to this day, this thing here that I knew that people were going to start pointing out if it happened, I think I said that in one of my videos, is not a Head and Shoulders. I mean, yeah, I guess technically it is. Technically it looks like it is. It is, but I think, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it for that, because it's all misshapen and stuff. It's pointy, it's misshapen, but it is, I guess. I just, anyway, what I thought might happen is basically if it, you know, another option as opposed to waiting for here is if it gets below the Thursday's low, which is 27.60, a great scalp I think would be down to 27.23. Because I think it'll definitely have that inclination to want to test this support again. And, you know, then the options are down or up. What? Do they pay me for this? No. Now you can see why. No, I do think possibly that we would maybe form a Head and Shoulders here if it were to go all the way down to 27.23. That's not bullish. It's not bullish. I'm not saying it couldn't go back up, because anything can happen, but if it were to go to 27.23, it might go back up and form a shoulder, but just like in the flow of the data and everything else, that is super not bullish, and that probably means we're going down to the meow line. Not immediately, but if it does bounce, if it does go to 27.23 and bounces and then sort of shoulders out here, maybe even up to there, yeah, it's probably going to 26.24 eventually. That's my best guess. Now, if it defies this divergence, which, you know what, it had there was all sorts of divergence for a really freaking long time that it ignored. So if it does defy the bearish divergence and gets above 29.59, I think it'll be, you know, there'll be chop and whatever, smooth sailing, but it won't be smooth sailing, but then I'll be much more comfortable with my long. So I am not at all euphoric right now. I am just cautious, and I have seen some people just making some assumptions of euphoria, but I've also seen a shit ton of bears, so I don't know. I'm waiting for either above here or, well, I'm waiting for above the trampoline and then above there, or I'm waiting for, if it to hit here, I might long it, but it'll be a scalp because I would be afraid. Or, you know, if it just slices through here, then I'll be looking for it to go to the meow line. It just has to get below this previous low for me to scalp down to 27.23. Okay, so that is ES. Ooh, let's talk about gold. Looks like it's gotten through the band of resistance eye again, and you know, it bounced off of RSI support here. Did I put the picture in picture? Yes, I did. Okay. Oh my God. I was like, please don't let me have talked to myself for this long and have to record it again. Okay. Anyway, it looks like it's kind of just back testing here, so I think it would be very bullish, very, very bullish if it gets back above 1753.40. I would look for it to go whoop. Otherwise, you know, it could keep the consolidation going. I don't see anything. Even if it did that, I wouldn't say it was bearish. Again, it's not going to be bearish for me until it's below this key line, but I would love the opportunity to maybe see if it's viable at the rocket line if it does come back down, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening. We'll have to see. I mean, it just has to stay above this RSI, and I'm not one of these that sells when it's in the over, you know, when RSI is over bought. I think that actually puts it in turbo mode. That means it can go up quicker and faster and whatever. Now it'll correct itself either via time or price, but it's, you know, it's certainly, it's in bullish range right now, and it doesn't look dangerous to me at all at this stage. It just looks like it's back testing, and it may come back down here to the bottom resistance eye. again, but it looks good. Just keep it. I'm just keeping it in my investment. I'm not actively trading gold. I just didn't see a ton of opportunities. Let's talk about silver. This was my trade this week that made my week. Okay, so originally I bought it here. I played the mixed squeezy here. It did another bull flag here. I alerted you guys right here that it was on the verge, and then it went above that key line, which I said would cause another mixed squeezy. And now I did prematurely, probably on Friday, call out that it was approaching resistance, and because it did. So, and then it ended up just almost touching this. Let me see what that is. 200. Yeah, almost bouncing down from this 200 MA. So if it does have a pullback, I would look to, if I hadn't bought it yet, I would see, now this is just tomorrow's value, but I would see sort of, if it did pull back, what it will be doing at about 16.882. And if it gets below there but looks bouncy, that would be a good opportunity, I think. But I'm already in it. I did take, so I had said my plan on Twitter, actually. So I added my two scales from this is one scale, then I did a scalp and made my money, and then I added two scales at the key, and then I took off a third of the total. All right. Well, I had originally thought I was going to take it off sooner, but because I'm in a ETF and it hit the place I was going to take it off overnight, which I think was right about here. Yeah, 1653. It hit that overnight. I didn't do it, but thankfully good, because I ended up taking it off here. So I've taken a third off. I have 2/3 still in. And I might add that third back depending on if it pulls back, what I'm thinking. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. I have to watch it, actually. I have to, sometimes my plan can literally be to watch it, but it's got so much, and I guess I had one tweet that was like, if you don't have wet paint to watch, I mean, it did this for a long time, and then it kind of did this for a long time, so that means it's got some juice. Ultimately, my price target would be to take off the next 1/3, unless I add again, because then I'll take off more, but I'm looking for it to hit somewhere around this key level, which changes every day, but yeah, somewhere around 18-ish. But I mean, just to have a break-even stop on my last 2/3, I'm not upset. That doesn't bother me. It gives me a lot of confidence. It makes me be able to just put that aside. Got my trade. I already won, but then yeah, I'll watch what happens here. It ended right on my pivot, which I didn't label on Twitter because I'm an idiot. But it ended right there, and gosh, I hope it pulls back, because I could add my third back. And that's it. Okay, so let's talk about oil. Here's the weekly. Yeah, it got above resistance. It's strong. It looks like this week, if it did hit the key line here, which is 31.69 on the weekly chart, it looks like it'll come up against some RSI resistance, and so I'll keep an eye on that. I'm still not in oil, y'all. I'm still not. I was just busy. I was busy. I didn't even look at it, honestly. Like, I looked at it and I saw that it was about to hit my key line. I didn't set any alerts. I didn't do anything like that. And I'm just like, got other things to do. I have to spell it because he's in the other room. I have other SQUIRRELS to chase. So I wasn't watching it. But it still, if it did hit here and come back down, it would still form possibly an inverse alfalfa. We'll have to see. Inverse head and shoulders with an alfalfa hair right here. Okay, let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, see, I had said, oh, if you're long, it's a good place to take profits. I mean, do I feel bad about saying that? No, because guess what it did? It freaking back tested it. So if you had taken profits here and then it went, and you were like, Julia said, you had the perfect opportunity here to buy it back again, and then it stopped right here, which, oh, let me, this says $29.94, but let's just see what it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's hard. I have to zoom in, y'all. I don't want to do this like live, but yeah. So if it gets sort of above, if it closes above $29.94, I would imagine, let's look at RSI, what's happening. Yeah, it looks like if it were to zap here, you know what, let's figure out, maybe I haven't been watching it, so let me just, that makes sense. Yeah, because if it comes down here, it should hit here. Okay, so if it were to get above $29.94, it looks like it would squeeze up. I don't know what's going to happen. It looks like it might go down before it goes up. Let's just see. I know a lot of you are trading this. I am not. So yeah, at this point, I would, if I weren't long, I would wait for it to get back down here and see if it were at RSI support. That might be a good place to enter. Or, you know, it's possible this is a false breakout, and if that's true, then it'll go whoop all the way back down. I mean, that's, you know, oil. You know, oil, it does stuff like that sometimes, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not feeling something right now that I could say for sure, but if it got above $29.94, I don't even know that it would McSqueezy up here. I'm not sure. So yeah, I don't have anything valuable to say. I'm sorry. I tried. Let's talk about Natty. Okay. Yuck. Bleh. Well, it did have a bounce off my RSI. Good, Nathan. You know what? That lizard, he moved from, no, Jada, I'm not going to let her, she just, I don't know. That lizard moved out, he was so weird on Thursday because he was sitting underneath my chair like a dog. Like, he was looking at me like, hey. And I'm kind of getting used to, I got used to him, and then he disappeared on Friday. I couldn't find him. I found him in my dining room. He went all the way. It's a pretty long way, actually. For a little lizard, but he went all the way to my dining room, and he was underneath my dining table. And then I haven't found him since, so he's been missing since Friday. I don't know. Anyway, it's starting to look a little bear flaggish here, and you know, I would hope if it sort of starts up back above this pink dotted, I'm going to have higher hopes for it. But yeah, it is not looking bullish at this time. So if I were not in a position here, I would I mean, for sure it's bearish below 159. So that'd be very bad. I think that it would go all the way down to, I don't even know, depending on when it hit. I mean, it can always go lower, and I don't have anything here for it. I mean, Natty likes to do weird stuff though, but yeah, it's not bullish. So we'll have to see what happens this week. If I see an opportunity for a McSqueeze, I mean, if it closed above 171, depending on what's happening here, and I'll mess around with this, see if I can't find some more stuff, but I think that might be, if it closed above 171, not if it got above, but if it closed above, that might be bullish. Then to go back here, that might mean it's a fake breakdown, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Thank you. Oh wait, I gotta go full screen. I forgot. thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. And I will see you on the internet. Okay,